The last time I even attempted to read this series was when I was 15, and the moment I saw the main character shagging a demon, I was like, no way, this show ain't for me. I had nightmares for like the next 10 days. And now after 7 years, I am back reading the exact same chapter, and I have a lot to say just for this one chapter. Straight off the bat, I knew this show was going to be like very violent and very dark, but like the bars are set way higher than I had anticipated. Like, my goodness, some of the scenes, some of the violence in the scenes are absolutely crazy, and it's only chapter 1. After the first scene, when our main character Guts burned the demon, he went to a kingdom and he noticed a bunch of women and children in cages. We'll come back to that later, because my goodness, does this get dark, man. And then we get introduced to a interestingly designed character called Puck, an elf. I just hope that he gets clothes later on, but honestly, it doesn't matter. I feel like his character's pretty good so far. And now we are in a bar, and then we get introduced to these bunch of characters who are from the Coca? Is it Coca or Coca? And we even know the mayor of the city does not mess around with these guys, right? But our main character, just like a lot of other main characters from a lot of manga series, is very carefree and does not care about no consequences, and absolutely destroys all of these guys. Literally, the violence in these pages was crazy. And then he kills everyone else and leaves one guy alive, and tells that guy, go back to leader and tell them that the Black Swordsman has arrived. Now, I've got a lot of thoughts about that. Obviously, I've got no answers. And after all that, Guts gets captured by the people of the mayor, and then he gets tortured because he apparently caused a big scene, because the evil guy from the Coca Castle, like the leader, the villain on the first chapter, hands down is the most horrifying villain we have ever been introduced to any show. On the first chapter, like, holy shit, this guy is terrifying to a new level. The first scene that actually got me was when the mayor was with the guy. I'm not sure his name, I'm just gonna call him the Snake Man, yeah, because he obviously takes the form of a snake later on in the story, yeah. So Snake Man, he was eating a piece of ear. I didn't even notice it was an ear until he flicked it towards the mayor. My goodness gracious me, I'm gonna be saying my goodness a lot of times, because god damn, bro. And after refusing the mayor's apology, he decides to just attack the whole town, just for the sake of it, just because it's fun to him. Like, crazy, man, it's crazy. And then our elf Puck, he gets into the prison and he gets the keys so Guts could leave. And then we move back to the attack on the town, and this Snake Man there was one panel, like, I'm not gonna show you guys this because it's just too disturbing. I'll try my best to describe it. He literally had this little boy, he was like in half, he had him on his sword, and he was holding him up, and literally he was drinking his blood. Like, that was terrifying. That was actually terrifying. Like, this is all happening in the first chapter. It's actually mind-blowing. I'm still dumbfounded. Like, it's the first chapter I'm talking about. It feels like I'm talking about a whole arc. Like, this whole chapter felt like an arc. And then enter Guts. He came into the battle, and when he entered, we actually learned a decent amount of information. We know that he is a hunter. He hunts down these apostles. I'm not sure what that really means. I'm assuming they're like some immortal kind of beings, because this Snake Man was ridiculously strong. Like, I reckon if it was like a combat fight with no weapons, Snake Man would have easily beaten Guts, because he was pretty strong. And then when he got to his snake form, like, that snake form is absolutely strong and terrifying. Like, this Snake Man's design is like, bro, it was a snake, his face was inside the mouth, and the tongue of the snake came out of the mouth of the person. Like, that's a horrifying design, bro. Like, and Guts caught Snake Man off guard by blowing a cannon inside his mouth, and then he used his sword to cut him in half, and then he burned him alive at the end. I'm quite interested about the sword he's carrying on his back, because that sword is huge, it's bigger than himself, and it's quite powerful. Like, he's cutting people, horses, even Snake Man in half just with one strike. Like, that has to be some kind of ancient powerful sword. Okay, so my final thoughts. What do I think about the first chapter of Berserk? Alright, number one, this first chapter felt like a whole series. Like, it did not feel like a chapter. It was just a lot to take in. The character designs are quite freaky, like they're quite scary, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like the snake, like that post snake design, how his face was inside of the snake's mouth, was probably the creepiest shit I've seen this whole entire year. I'm not even lying. And one more thing, this chapter had amazing action scenes. The action scenes were very, very engaging. I loved it. And also the art. Yes, the art style was beautiful. I loved it. I loved the art style. And now the final question. Will I keep reading this series? The answer is yes. However, the grimdark genre is not my particular favorite genre. Like anything that's very dark, I kind of tend to stay away from it. However, Berserk, the first chapter, the way it's laid out, I feel like the story will have a very good plot. If the plot is good with good characters, I'm always up for it. So yes, I will be continuing Berserk. I'm kind of nervous and excited at the same time, but we'll see where this goes. I'll give this chapter a solid 7.5 out of 10, which is very, very good for a first chapter. If you guys are a big fan of any anime or any fantasy genre stories, consider subscribing here, because I talk about that, or I'm planning to talk about more in the future. So subscribe and join the family going forward, and give this video a big like. It'll help the channel grow, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care now. Bye.